What I learned from Benjamin Franklin is this, that you can't work on more than one fault at a time. You see, Benjamin Franklin didn't say, I now have identified my 13 faults. I am going to conquer these 13 faults. He did not say that. He said that first I have to discover my biggest fault. And once I've discovered my biggest fault, I have to do everything humanly possible to live my life until there's no more dots that fall in that column. Wow. Traders, wow. You don't, words can't explain how this was a moment of epiphany for me. This was the penny dropping for me. That you can't solve multiple problems at the same time. We're not designed that way. You can't work on more than one fault at a time. You can't tackle these things in groups. You'll just waste your time. Benjamin Franklin taught me that you first have to discover the biggest fault you have, the biggest demon, the leader, the cult leader of all of your faults, all of your errors. This is the one you kill, because if you can kill or conquer the head, you can kill the rest of the army. You might have an army of faults. You might have an army of errors, but if you can find the biggest error of all, that's the ringleader. That's the king of them. And if you can kill the king, you can take the kingdom. Do you understand this? This was life-changing to me, because from that point onward in my life, I understood the power and the importance of putting a pen to a piece of paper. From that point onward, I understood the power of discovery, which is discover first what you're bad at. Discover what your problems are. Discover what you're not good at. Discover what's holding you back. Discover your mistakes. Discover your faults. And then once you have the group of faults that you're committing the most repetitively, then you have to find the king of those, which is the one that is head and shoulders more powerful than the rest. Which one of my faults dominates the others? Which one of my faults do I repeat 2 times, 3 times, 4 times as much as the rest? You see, it doesn't make sense to split our efforts and thin out our energy, thin out our power, thin out our focus across a variety of them. That doesn't work. They are allowed to live because what we're giving to them to conquer them is just a little piece, because we've spread ourselves out over our faults. But if we take everything that we are, and we take everything that we have, and we point those laser eyes, and we point that laser focus to that one demon, that one problem, that one error, it has no freaking chance. And if we blow that one up, the rest of the journey becomes a lot easier. You see, that head one is what's blocking things the most. And so what Benjamin Franklin did, traders, was he found the biggest one. And I remember him saying that I didn't care if I committed the other 12. Once I discovered my biggest fault, I didn't worry myself about violating the others. I didn't worry myself about repeating the other 12. My whole life was dedicated to just not committing the first one, the biggest one. And so he would live his life committing the other 12, no problem, but making sure day by day he could check off, I didn't commit this today. Boom, one day down. It's like anything else, one day at a time. And then day 2, he would wake up in the morning and he'd vow to himself, I have to live my day and make sure that at no moment do I commit this fault. Boom! At the end of the day, that's 2 days down, then 3 days down, then 4 days down. Now, his magic number was 13. He believed that if he could get past 13 days without committing that error was gone forever. 13 days, guys. 13. Wow. 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 This blew my mind. I was 12 years old. It's relatively easy to blow a 12-year-old's mind, but wow, this was impactful. And I have never stopped using this in every corner of my life. Once Benjamin Franklin killed his first biggest fault by living 13 days without committing it, by starving that demon, starving that error into oblivion, starving it to death. He would then, remember, he never stopped putting the dots. So he didn't worry about not doing the other 12, but he would continue putting the dots if he committed another error. He would continue to dot. He just didn't worry about it. He only worried about the biggest one. Once the biggest one was done, after 13 clean days, I'm clean 13 days, he went on to which is now the fault with the most dots. He went on to error number 2. And then he put all of his life, all of his energy, all of his effort into error number 2, and he wanted to live 13 days clean. Boom, error number 2 gone. And then on to 3, and then 4, and so forth and so on.